Determination to change the nation, I'm manifesting the truth. Back in the booth to give you the messages that's been channeling right through me. No, I'm not Jesus, although my spirit is great. I'm eating my food without a plate, escaping this place through my meditations. New life begun when I reloaded the gun and realized where I was from was not too far from the sun. Like somewhere close by the moon. Now I'm connected like Zoom. On walks of life that ever lived, call me like out of the blue. So I just pass it to you, right through your speakers with clues. And if you choose to free your mind, then you will have all the tools. But I can't make you take it and shake it and mentally break yourself out. Cause freeing your mind without a doubt is something you have to try out. But once you see the light, your might, and all the power you've had, then you have reached the fifth dimension and you can brighten your path. But others who choose to follow the red pills, it's harder to swallow. Or you can wallow in your sorrows, feeling all empty and hollow. The only way you'll see the truth is if it's starting with you. So please stop lying to yourself, start being truthful to you. The only way you'll see the truth is if it's starting with you. So please stop lying to yourself, start being truthful to you, to you.
Yo, yo, yo. What's up? What's up? So we live today on this episode of Sermons with Sherman. I got my co-host over here today, my daughter, my youngest baby, Shamyla Wells. And man, I'm telling you, I met some brothers over this last month that is ridiculously talented. They're very special brothers. I feel like these my little brothers already. And man, I love these brothers to death just for being themselves. Man, 13 of y'all popped in already. I appreciate that. And we got some LinkedIn. Let me see. We got some comments already too. Okay, good evening, everyone. All right, good evening. Yes. So yeah, I'm gonna pop these brothers in one at a time and give them a second to introduce themselves. And because we got so many people, we're gonna try to get through this thing. I know I usually only go about an hour, 2 hours. So yeah, I'm gonna pop them in one at a time, starting with Avrion. I think that's how I say his name. Make sure I get it right. And I'm about to bring him on. And again, the reason why I'm doing this is because we have to encourage the young brothers to come forth in their community. We need it. And whenever they do something bad, people always break them down, talk about them. Y'all share all the messy stuff when a young brother do something. So I need y'all to share this thing up and like this thing up the same way you would if it was something negative. We got to have the positive. And the point of this is to make sure that other brothers in other cities see that it's okay to be yourself and not go along with what the system has set up for you. So without further ado, Brother Marcus says salute. I'm about to bring on the first brother right here. Yo, what's up, brother?
Yo, what's going on?
Man, nothing too much. It's good to see you. It's been, about a month since we've seen each other?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, we just want to give you a moment to introduce yourself, let the people know who you are, where you're from, your age, stuff like that.
So how y'all doing, everybody? My name is Avrion Sanders. I am a 22-year young man in Las Vegas. I do a lot of work on the west side of Las Vegas, by way from the west side of Chicago, where I'm originally from. And I do a lot of community advocacy, community leadership, as well as some form of justice reform work by facilitating workshops for those impacted by the justice system, teaching professional and personal branding, resume building sessions, and improving resumes with practical strategies, and just overall community elevation and youth activation. Those are like my keys. I have an associate's degree in the criminal justice field, and then I'm getting my bachelor's, and I'm going for my master's as well in social work, so I can be in a role of leadership in the community space.
Yes, sir. Y'all thought I was playing when I said I met some exceptional brothers, didn't y'all? Y'all thought I was playing. All right, let me bring on the next brother right here. And this brother who already done passed his board, his legal board, his lawyer board on his first try. Man, let me go ahead and bring him on because y'all gonna see, man, these brothers is exceptional. Hey,
hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
What's going on, brother? Let me give you a brief moment to go ahead and introduce yourself.
So my name is Jean Michel Jr. I am a first-generation Haitian American. I am an attorney. I've been licensed for going on 3 years now. I graduated from Buffalo State University with a bachelor's in criminal justice with a minor in legal studies, and I got my Juris Doctorate from Barry University O. Andreas School of Law. I currently live and work in D.C. I'm originally from Syracuse by way of Buffalo, and so I do a lot of work with Buffalo's Boys and Men of Color Initiative. It's a youth leadership council where we do a lot of restorative justice work, narrative change work within the city of Buffalo and across the United States.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Let me bring on the next brother Jeremiah Jet. Okay. Hold on one second. Here he comes. There you go.
Hello.
What's going on, bro?
Yes, I done had to change my camera angle. My phone was about to die.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me give you a second to go ahead and pop your stuff real quick. Go ahead, brother.
All right, my name is Jeremiah Jett. I am a public speaker. I'm a mentor, and I also serve as the City of Greensboro Youth Representative. And I also host a podcast called Youthful Conversations, which is basically a platform where I invite young people to come on the show where we have meaningful conversations about a variety of different things. We talk about mental health, relationships, entrepreneurship, anything that young people are talking about. You can expect Youthful Conversations to cover it. I am a 17-year-old young man. I am a dual enrollment student. So I attend high school as well as college at the same time. So when I graduate this year, I will graduate with an associate's degree as well as my high school diploma. That's it. That's all about myself.
Whoop, whoop. Okay. All right, the next brother we bringing in, Brother Sando. Let me go ahead and add him to the stage. There you go. What's going on with you, bro? Can't hear you. Unmute your mic.
I think you just muted.
Did it? Okay, there we go.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you now. What's going on, bro?
All right. Hey, everyone. My name is Sanozu Kapuzi. I am currently residing in the state of Atlanta, Georgia. I am a program coordinator with Elevance Health. And some fun things that I do here in the state of Georgia is advocate for young fathers. I say fun because it's challenging, but I love the challenge of trying to find space for young fathers and find a voice for them. And I'm also a co-founder of a nonprofit, and I'm trying to do some work here in Atlanta to really bring forth the voice of young fathers, especially those with lived experience from foster care.
Man.
I don't know what to say. I'll pass it on.
That's what's up. Okay. Yep. All right. So we got the next brother Louis Blaze. Make sure he there real quick. You there, brother? There you go. There you go, brother. Yo, what's going on, bro? We're gonna give you a brief moment to introduce yourself.
Cool. Peace and love, everybody. Thanks for having me on here. My name is Louis Edward McKellick IV, a.k.a. Louis Blaze. I'm born and raised in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Freedom fighter. I'm a hip-hop artist, published author, and a youth empowerment coach. The founder of We Will Breathe, a racial justice and healing initiative where we empower young people to read together, to heal together, to eat together, and study our culture, our history, and our heritage. And blessed to be here with all of you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Ooh, yeah. Yes, sir. Man, I think somebody else just popped in. Let's see who's this right here. Yo, can you hear us? They got J-Man. There you go. What's going on, bro?
How we doing?
We're good. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Jamie Marquosi here from Buffalo, New York. It's a pleasure to be here today. 25-year-old black man from the east side of Buffalo, born and raised, as I mentioned. And I'm heavily invested and passionate around the work, surrounding young people and tapping into their potential. There were adults, that saw the potential in me. So I'm trying to give back in that way and pay it forward, whether that's through sports, whether that's through education, and most importantly, through civic engagement. So I'm just blessed to be here, and my apologies for just now popping in here, but I'm blessed to be in this spot. So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right. So, man, I got one more person. He hasn't popped in yet, but we'll give him a second. But in between time, in the meantime, yeah, who's that? Okay, so first of all, I want y'all to pay attention to the chat, man. Y'all already turning it up. It's probably like 20, 30 people done said something already. And then usually we got a bunch of people that are watching, not click on. So don't pay attention to the number, because I know as soon as we get off here to have like 300-400 views, because sometimes people don't want us to know they watching, but they watching. So yeah, first of all, I want to tell y'all thank you, man. Since the day I met y'all in Seattle, I've been raving about y'all to everybody that I come across, my daughter and anybody in the community. Phenomenal young men, blessed to you all. Yeah, just about how much y'all filled my cup and gave me hope for the future, bro. Because man, I see a lot of the times when we doing work in the community, it be the majority of women when I'm saying let's get some action done. And then so when I met y'all, I'm like, hold on a minute. We got some brothers in other states moving around and they're young. So I was just very blessed to be able to meet y'all. And I want to make sure I highlighted y'all in this capacity and let the rest of the people see that there are young men in the community that's doing stuff and have separated their minds from the control system that tell you to be other things. And so we're going to jump into these questions. And as soon as Jaden pop in, I'm gonna give him a moment. He just asked me where's the link. I'm gonna tell him in Instagram. Yep. But we're gonna go ahead and start with the first question. Go ahead, Shamyla. You can do the first question, and then I guess we'll start with brother Avery up here. Go ahead.
So the first question is, what do you think is the biggest obstacle that this generation faces today?
I would say the biggest obstacle is societal standards and collective expectations.
Ooh. Explain that, brother. What you mean by that?
So the societal standard part, like there is so many things that society will want us or expect us to do. Like you're at this certain age, you gotta have this house, you gotta be on your own at this point, you gotta have this car, you gotta be in this kind of a relationship, you gotta be doing this kind of thing, and then the collective expectations of doing things the right way.
Yeah.
And having a certain part of your life together at a certain point. So I would say it's just like the unrealistic expectations that a lot of us set on each other.
Yeah. And then what was the second part you said?
The societal standards, they kind of like line in because our collective expectations lean heavily on the societal standards that are pushed onto us. So they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah. What about you, Mr. Lawyer? What you think is the biggest obstacle that's facing your generation today?
I believe it's educational attainment, and not just in the traditional sense. So me and Mr. Utsi were talking a couple days ago because we're a part of the same organization, and not many people know that the average reading level for Americans is 8th grade level.
Wow.
And so people don't understand that there's a direct correlation between educational attainment and the school to prison pipeline. And so the lower your educational attainment is, the more likely you are to end up in prison, specifically for Black and brown young men. And then you can also factor in young women of color. And so I think, and I've written a paper on this in law school, that the solution to this, because most educational programs are directly financed by property taxes, state and local property taxes, I think education should be a fundamental right. That meaning that schools and school districts and cities can't differentiate between poor and affluent or different races, and it would be on the federal level to make sure that all resources are adequate and equitable amongst different demographics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cassandra said, I love to see these young Black men doing their thing. This generation need more like you. That's what I'm talking about. Go to the next person. Louis.
Yay. So I would say one of the biggest obstacles that, our generation is facing today, I believe first and foremost is like the lack of faith. the lack of belief,
Mhm.
first and foremost, in a God and in a higher power. We've lost our spiritual wealth in our culture, especially specifically as a black man. I could speak to as a black man from my experience. We've really gotten out of touch of who we are and where we come from. So I think the biggest obstacle that's like keeping a lot of us stagnant and not allowing us to move forward is our history, our heritage, and our God. You know, a lot of young people can't even really envision themselves, 5 years from now, right? What is my future gonna look like? And that could become very detrimental, because we're constantly thinking out of survival mode. And I believe if we were connected to our roots, right, and truly know where we come from, then that'll give us a solid foundation in order to move forward and build for the future. So that's why I try to be so intentional about, having conversations with the elders, the people that was here before me that paved the way for me to still be here today. So intentional when we get that space, because when we gone, all we are left with is the memories, right? And
Man.
now we're dealing with a society where they're brainwashing our generation and they're erasing our history right in front of us. And we can't let that happen. So,
Right.
know your history.
You want
Yeah, go ahead first or Jaden? No, you can bring him in.
Jaden just came in, so we're gonna let him go ahead and introduce himself.
There he is, brother Jaden. What's going on, sir?
All right. Apologies for being late. Was having some technical difficulties. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jaden Perkins. I'm a community organizer, coalition builder, and defender of democracy based right out here in Omaha, Nebraska. I've spent my entire career dedicated to advocating on the front lines for issues such as reproductive justice, criminal justice reform, climate action, anti-war stances, such as the Free Palestine movement. And also just dedicated to issues such as universal health care and ballot issues that are going on here at the state. I've been a longtime advocate of people being able to vote on the direct issues that impact them and being able to organize beyond election day and beyond the ballot box for issues that impact our communities. So it's a pleasure to be in the room with such intelligent young Black men and to be able to discuss the issues that matter to our generation and generations that will follow us. So thanks so much for having me.
Yes, sir. Man, yeah, man, the people is loving it too. He said spiritual development is the bedrock for building your legacy. Ms. Rhea said if they have services for hire, please drop their business links. So we do have a private chat. If y'all want to drop y'all business links or how they can get a hold of you, put it there and I'll put it in our chat. Brother Daryl said, well said. And Eliza, Miss Palmer said, amazing. Love this. So we're going to keep going with the question to the next person. I think it's Brother Louis.
Yeah, just to say the question again, what is the biggest obstacle your generation faces today?
Yep, it's on you, brother. Louis.
It's on me?
Yep.
Yeah. Wait,
oh, no, he already
went.
Sando.
Like,
it's on Sando.
I'm like, I could dive deeper if that's what you know, because when we talk about history, we believe that we come from slavery, but we got a history even before, we were enslaved individuals. So like, that's the history that I'm speaking of, that we was detached from and that we have no recollection of. And when you think that like, you're only a slave, right? We have what is called PTSD, right? With our trauma and our generational trauma that exists. But we also suffer from post-traumatic slavery disorder as well, where we are still thinking in the mind of a slave when we are much more than that. We are gods, we are kings, we are warriors, we are protectors and providers, and that has been stripped away from our identity. So yeah, I'll pause right there. But yeah.
It's all good.
Sando?
So I would say that the biggest issues facing our generation today is there's a lot of drive, a lot of driven people, no direction. Everybody, everybody has things that are goals that are self-serving. Not trying to think about in the grand scheme of things that, the purpose of humanity is to serve and build and create for others who come after you. So I'm always trying to, inspire people to be like, why don't you try to be a part of something that is like way beyond yourself? Why don't you find purpose to give yourself that direction? Because you just have all this drive, you have all this potential, you have all these capabilities that you're able to do, but you have nowhere that you're really going to. You're just trying to, serve yourself, make a couple bucks, and remain miserable, and then you die. And that's it. So where's the direction? Where are we headed? What's the destination?
Man, that's deep. Somebody in the chat said the biggest problem facing young people is SEEFIRS, systematic, endemic, economic, financial, and institutional racism, which has held us down since the nation was formed. Man, that's deep.
Jeremiah?
I would say the biggest problem my generation faces today is firstly the lack of community, and then the lack of resources. When you're young and you're trying to do something different, it's very foreign to a lot of different people. So like as you started, you'll have people at your school, people that you thought was friends, family, like all kind of different people. Like, oh, he's doing something different, he's weird. Oh, or they like start talking low-key hating and doing different things like that. And it's just like when you're doing something, you will like for the support. No matter what nobody says, everyone does something for some kind of recognition. Like recognition is what drives you. Recognition is like, okay, people are loving what I'm doing, now I got to go harder. Like if you're not getting recognition, 9 times out of 10 you won't go as hard. So when you got people in our community who are doing stuff, who is trying to make stuff happen, and then you're like constantly ignoring these young people, you're constantly like talking about them, and you see young people struggling, you just like, oh, he's just gonna end up like such and such. Instead of helping him, that lack of community ain't helping him get better. That lack of community ain't helping him wanting to fight more and more to be better. You just throwing him under the bus. And then lack of resources. It's hard to do anything in our world without money. It's hard to do anything without resources. Like even not in monetary like terms, even like opportunities and networking. Like if we don't have the resources we need to be successful, the things we're trying to achieve, the things we're trying to do for our community becomes 10 times harder. And instead of becoming like an end goal destination, it's more of like a wall in the way of trying to achieve our dream. So those would be my 2 answers.
That's deep, bro. You covered something else that I was gonna ask you, because like you said, man, when you're doing different stuff at that young age, man, people will ridicule you, call you all kind of names because you're not fitting the norm. So that's what I loved about each one of y'all. When I met y'all, I could tell right away that you're thinking on a level of being an individual, being yourself, not following the systematic what a black man supposed to be, or that nigga supposed to be. You know what I mean? So I respect that. Next person. Yep, right here. J-Man. You need the question read again, or you got it?
Yes, sir. Oh no, I got it. Appreciate it. The biggest obstacle that I believe our generation faces today is, as I was listening to the brothers speak, we talked about it was 2 things that y'all had said, and I was trying to merge them with my answer. But the one thing that the one brother just spoke on, just the lack of support. I would speak on that as well. Just the lack of togetherness. We all, are respectfully, living our individualistic lives. And sometimes that can get in the way of living in a silo and not working together, to where we're doing the same thing and we got the same vision, we got the same goals. But instead of us trying to work together, we trying to dip into the same pot, where if we work together, we could work smarter, not harder. Another aspect or avenue where I think is an obstacle that we face is that the capacities and containments that we put ourselves in. This world of knowledge that we have in these phones right here, it's a world of knowledge that we have within the age of technology. And some of the times we don't maximize the benefits that we can reap from these things. We just use it for the pleasure or the convenience aspect of it, but don't understand how much knowledge and wisdom, or excuse me, not even wisdom, because the wisdom gonna come from the stories and the experience based off that knowledge that you obtain, but the knowledge that you can obtain to then implement within your life, to gain that knowledge, to then continue to pass down. I think it's something in which sometimes we'll get caught into, because we, once again, we trying to stack our own bread, we trying to chase our own dreams, and we got our own goals, but sometimes we get caught into these phones, and a lot of the other distractions, it can get into our way to where it's an obstacle to ourselves. So I guess the last answer will be ourselves. I think sometimes we can get in our own way, to where, like I said, we just chasing different things, and sometimes if we're not being as intentional as possible to make sure we have that aligned vision and that aligned mission, then we are going in separate directions, and we getting pulled, and we only as strong as our weakest link. So I think those are just a few obstacles that we face today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Miss Jenkins said egos kill many, bring your dreams. And Rhea said everyone wants to lead, no one wants to follow and contribute. The wrong information is keeping everyone distracted. And it's real. It's real. Go ahead to the next person.
Jaden, what do you think?
I think one of the biggest obstacles that's facing our generation, and I especially see it a lot here in organizing in Omaha, Nebraska, is that some of the onus has to be put on the elder generation for not developing and getting caught up in their egos and not developing like the younger generation to pass the torch. I see that with a lot of notable North Omaha politicians, that continue to run for office and not build up the next generation of leaders in that sense, so that we can actually build and contain real political power in our communities. I can echo what pretty much everyone else said here, in that folks get too caught up in their egos. The society of individualism definitely plays into a lot of it. And it's definitely our own downfall, especially when this is how white people operate.
Right.
They created individualism. They created, capitalism as we know it, which, a lot of us suffer from poverty, and a lot of talent is frankly trapped in poverty, in a monetary sense, right? And I think it's important too, as we talk about building up the next generation of folks, of young leaders, really focusing on that generational wealth piece, not just from like a money perspective, but from like an educational perspective, from a mental health perspective. So in a sort of sense, that I think those are some of the things that our generation is in terms of obstacles.
Yeah, that's deep. Brother Daryl Harris on LinkedIn said, I agree with you. And he also said entertainment mindset versus attainment mindset. So, and we are live on 3 platforms, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And like I said, I'll break these down so y'all can put some of y'all stuff on your own page, on TikTok and everything like that, and Instagram. We're going to go to the second question with the lawyer here. Go ahead, Shamyla.
Okay. Second question is, what inspired you to pursue the work you're doing at such a young age?
So I don't think I mentioned my age. I'm only 27. I just turned 27 this past August. I got into this work. Backstory. So I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer my sophomore year of college. Coming out of that, I came into my junior year, and I worked through my junior year doing higher education work, specifically around student conduct. And after that, I got the scholarship program that I received through SAYS Buffalo, which is a K through 12 program that if you graduate from a K through 12 school in either Buffalo or Syracuse, New York, you get a last dollar tuition scholarship to school. The Buffalo branch of that program provided internship programs. And so I was able to clerk with a judge during my junior to senior year summer. And that's unique because usually you don't hear about clerkships with a judge unless you're in law school or postgraduate law school or graduating, and then you're waiting for your bar results, or you're already practicing and you're working for a judge. And so I was clerking for a judge, and she just recommended it to me one day when we were sitting in her chambers deliberating on a case. And she's like, I think you should think about going to law school, becoming a lawyer. And so I researched, different schools, how to get into law school, and applied, got in, did my 3 years, and passed the bar.
Man.
And now here I am. I do want to preface this by saying I've always wanted to be a judge, and specifically in New York, and not all judges have to be lawyers. And so I knew that not every judge in New York is a lawyer, but I never knew that for most judgeships, you have to be a lawyer first, and then you can be a judge. So it kind of all worked out eventually. But, I spoke it into existence when I was a child, and here I am.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you celebrate once you passed that bar? You said on your first try, man. Congratulations on that.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God you was able to beat that cancer, brother. Man, that's a crazy story already in itself, and you're only 27. I just look forward to seeing you grow. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Jeremiah, what do you think? What inspired you to pursue the work you do at such a young age?
What inspired me to do my work at such a young age is actually when I was very younger, I used to stutter real bad. So I wasn't even able to get sentences out and communicate with different people. And as I started to learn more about my backstory, I was like, why would the devil or the enemy try to stop me at such a young age from communicating?
Mm-hmm.
And why would he take my voice away if I'm not meant to do this? So my family, when something happens, we rely purely on faith. So when something happens, best believe me and my family gonna get together. We're gonna pray about it, and we're gonna give it to God, because that's the only way we feel that can be handled. So when I was young, they started laying me on altars and doing different things like that. And then eventually they laid me on one altar, and then my mom said I woke up and I never shut up. So from that day forward, I was like, this has got to be a gift from God. So my communication abilities and me being able to communicate with different people has to be a gift from God. So now how can I use my gift to bless others and to use it the way that God has intended me to use it? So I've started doing public speaking. I started learning how to public speak and mentor in the 6th grade. So I've been doing this for almost 6 years now. So 6th grade, I started hosting fully packed out Coliseums event. So you can imagine a little 12-year-old kid walking around a Coliseum fully maxed out, and I'm just hosting the event with 4 grown-up adults. And then I had adults coming up to me after the event talking about, you did such a great job hosting the event. I really loved it. And I was like, okay, I got to do this. And then as I got older, I was like, how can I take this on a more broader stage? So I did speaking at different events, different community events. But I was like, how can I take this to worldwide? How can I do this bigger? How can I do this better? And I started praying, and God blessed me with the idea of starting a podcast. So I started my podcast, and ever since then, we have done amazing. For my very first season, we've gotten over 40,000 views with only 15 episodes in our season 1. And
congratulations on
that would be my reason I started so young. I knew that God had ordained me to be a communicator. Mm-hmm. And ever since that day, he blessed me with my ability to speak, I haven't shut up since.
Man, that's beautiful. I did just drop brother, let me see, did I put it in there yet? Okay. There go his is that your Gene? Is that your oh, that's a dot card. Okay, got it. So I got that in there for y'all. If you need his services, his legal services, that's the brother right there. Tristan Tripp said, where can he find your podcast?
So I'm on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. On YouTube is Youthful Conversations. On Instagram, it is Jeremiah Jet _. And on Facebook, it is Youthful Conversations as well. We go live every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. for about an hour. But this is the end of season 1, so you'll have to catch us next year, hopefully at the beginning of January for season 2.
Okay, yeah, and if you put those links in the private chat, I will make sure I post them in here, because right now y'all getting so many hearts on my Facebook. It's just they hearting y'all up. So yeah, I love that. And Brother Harris said, walking in purpose. I want to go back to a comment that Miss Jenkins said. The colonizers were so successful because they removed us from our communities. We've dropped the ball on correcting that in the past generations. So I agree to that. And I'm able to take some of the blame for it, even though I did everything I could for my children. We still part of that older generation, and probably some of us could have done more. But I think that now we have to recognize the mistakes and then move forward on what we're doing. And so that's the purpose of bringing y'all all together on here, so more people can see y'all, because man, it's a beautiful thing. And I think the more people see you and the other young men see y'all, hopefully they'll step out on their faith and their purpose and do their thing. So we're going to go to J Man. Go ahead with your, what was something, what's making you do what you're doing at this young age, brother?
It's a lot, but to stick to one thing or moment in particular is I'm a huge sport fanatic. Go Bills! We just smacked on the Seahawks, so that's that. But
finally,
on a serious note, as a sport fanatic though, grew up with sports, and I love sports so much it was like that's all I wanted to do in life was make it to the league. And once I realized that, well, first and foremost, love sports, and I also love to learn. Once I realized that I could go to school and learn about sports and get that ticket, that college degree, which when I was growing up was my way out, I was like, okay, I know what I want to do when I grow up. It was then as I continued to manifest and just be around those that I wanted to aspire to become, was when I realized, okay, my impact or what my impact could bring. Always wanting to help, just wanting to be a facilitator, a teacher, a leader, and no matter what that is. Avid video gamer as well, so I'm trying to lead the party in terms of what we doing, what game we playing, that kind of a thing. And it was always a matter of, that was a skill that I wanted to hound in on and not just take it for granted that I just wanted to have control. It was like, no, you do it at an efficient rate, if you will. And as I continued to get older, it was my sports coaches and things of that nature that I once again just aspired to become. And as of right now, I'm entering my second year of coaching basketball, middle school basketball, and I give it to my, yes sir. We coming strong. I'm gonna try to get those games recorded and make sure I can drop those in the chat and then go ahead and share those out to y'all. But yeah, just giving shout outs and flowers to my coaches that came before me, that gave me inspiration to say that I can inspire young people. And once again, just as I'm in my intro and my bio, just tapping into the potential of those that may not see it, because I was one of those young people that didn't see it.
Right.
If it wasn't for my grandma, if it wasn't for my sports coaches, I could have been a statistic on the negative aspect. But now it's on the plus side. So I just take I always, when I get the opportunity to shout out, I always give back to sports and the people that my supporting cast. My coaches, to my grandma, my step pops, but that's like my dad. My mom, my supporting cast, if you will, that just got me to the space that surrounded me around good-minded people. Eventually meeting Jean, it's just a blessing to be around good people. And once again, once I decided to take the road that I knew I was going to go down, it was just a matter of continue to go down, keep your head down, and keep going strong. So,
yeah, that's beautiful. Miss Jenkins says we're all working on being good ancestors. You, brother, got to start on impacting the world. Miss Bradford said, I don't know you guys, but I'm so proud of you all. Keep doing your thing. And Miss Jenkins said, what makes y'all unique is how you're reaching back down and sideways, to make sure other people are rising with you. This is beyond impressive. And I see somebody drop that link for you, brother Jet. Is this your mom right here?
My mom, yes.
Hey, look at mama looking out. Okay, Miss Crystal, you did your thing raising this one right here. All right, we're gonna go to the next person, brother Sando. Go ahead. What inspired you to pursue the work you're doing at such a young age?
So I would say actually my inspiration is two-sided. There's the inspiration that gave me the blueprint, and then there's the inspiration that gave me the hunger and the drive to go for it. And for the blueprint, that was my adopted father. A lot of his work that he did was in leadership development and leadership training. So I believe that a lot of the teachings that he gave to me were like grooming me. And one of the things that he noticed in me was my entrepreneurship abilities as well as my communication abilities. And those are two things that he really impressed on me as a little kid, always trying to work on those skills, those particular skill sets. I didn't really understand the value of like some of the things that he had me doing with like, learning about work ethic by going out there and doing things every day and taking responsibilities and things like that. But I always joke about it and say it was kind of like Mr. Miyagi style, like, wax on, wax off. It didn't seem intentional what he was teaching me, but just watching him and seeing his lifestyle and seeing how he lived his life, that gave me the inspiration that there's other things that I can do because I was the only black kid in the all white environment. I was adopted by Italian people. I lived around all white people, but yeah, so I was the only black kid in my environment, and so when I came to Atlanta and I ended up having my daughter, and I was just like learning about different things that are happening, just seeing like the different struggles that people go through to be able to sustain themselves in lives. I'm like, what is it that I can do to help the situation? And kind of like my father, I feel like teaching people, you can literally teach people self-discipline. You can teach people work ethic. You can teach them things that can help them pull themselves out of the grave situations that they're in, out of that mire. But so yeah, that's just one thing I've been just trying to hone in on is my leadership abilities and my communication skills through those two inspirations, so I can impact people through business.
Okay.
Louis, what do you think? What inspired you to pursue the work that you're doing at such a young age?
All righty. I just want to just take a second to just say I am so proud of this panel right now and each
Man.
and every individual on here. Like, I'm just overwhelmed with joy, because we are indeed changing the narrative. And growing up, the narrative, the boxes that they gave us to be successful was very limited, right? So just to be a part of this conversation is an honor. Want to start off with that. But yeah, what inspired, and then also I want to apologize too. I got a lot going on over here. I got like an exclusive invite to attend a Stevie Wonder concert last minute. So so I'm over here taking pictures and seeing a bunch of people in the background. My phone just kicked me off. I just had to come back. So I just wanted y'all to know that if y'all was wondering, like, yeah, he seemed like he got a lot going on. Yeah, can't miss Stevie. Can't miss Stevie. Yeah. But I would say what inspires me though is what really made me want to start doing this work was just my lived experiences, and first and foremost, I got tired of letting my moms down.
Man.
I grew up in a very fast way. I say like I was forced to be an adult at an early age, right? Being a man of the house at like 10, 11, 12. And
Man.
and looking at it in hindsight, what that did to my psychology, it kind of like took away my ability to just be a kid, and that eventually evolved into me bumping my head a few times, making some mistakes. But when I like really got locked up at like 15 and really experienced being a part of the juvenile justice system, it just scared me. I got little brothers who's growing up and they looking up to me. I'm supposed to be their role model. And I was on the verge of being a jailbird, right? So
Man.
it was really about not being another statistic. I got so many family members and friends that I've lost at an early age already. They not living here no more. And it's just not wanting to fall into that trap of poverty, that trap of mass incarceration, all of these traps that they set up for us. It was really just like learning from my failures and wanting to turn that around and be the change, and change my narrative first and foremost. And then I would say what made me dive deeper into the work is when I started becoming educated around racial disparities, and I noticed all of these gaps in the statistics, like Minnesota, for example, right? We're in like the top 10 as far as education for like the best place for your kids to go to school. However, when you put the word black to that, then we're the worst
Wow.
place, right? And it's like that in a couple different categories. It's like that with education, with youth homelessness, with youth incarceration, right? When you attach the word black to it, my city, we're like always in the top 10 as far as one of the worst places to be at as a young black man. So I took that, to heart and wanted to help change, that narrative. So, yeah, that's what inspires me to do this work today.
Man, that's beautiful. And Miss Jenkins said, "Y'all giving me motivation." I'm telling you, that's how I felt when I met him. Shoot, knowing so many young people are pushing makes others want to push for change as well. So yeah, and then she also said that this should be on mainstream news. All this black excellence in one area. Yeah, yeah, man, it's just important to highlight this kind of stuff, and the news ain't gonna cover it because it ain't something that's tearing us down. This is something that'll build you up. And so, yeah, I seen my sister from Channel 3 on here, so don't be surprised if she reach out to one of y'all, Sister Melissa Wright. She's a young black woman that came here from, I think, Texas, and she's been covering a lot of stories in our area. And so Melissa is another one of those young people. And I'm gonna do a version like this of the young lady. So if you a young lady who want to be on highlighting the young women in the areas, we'll have you on too. So let's go to the next person.
Avion, Jaden, did you go already? Did you answer the question already? Oh no. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. What inspired you to pursue the work that you do at such a young age?
I think for me, one of the main tenets that inspired me was I was in high school, and fun fact, me and Shamyla went to high school together. So me and the Wells family go way back here. So in high school, growing up as a kid, definitely faced some behavioral health challenges, some mental health challenges. In high school, early high school, and in middle school, and so I decided to turn that around and to uplift the issues that impact working people the most, specifically Black and Brown people. So I got involved with my high school's it was called the Gay Straight Alliance at the time. This was before the Supreme Court ruled that same-sex marriage was legal. So for me, a main tenet is the freedom to have that self-determination, the freedom to have control over your own body and self-expression. So we promoted equality and just messages of peace and love throughout our high school. From then on, I got involved with Planned Parenthood's Teen Council program here in our local Omaha Planned Parenthood, where we work to educate and spread accurate, safe sex ed information to other high schoolers and youth across our community. After that, I worked for 4 years on various, about 25 political campaigns here in our area for progressive candidates who, were advocating for issues such as universal health care, a living wage, ending the wars overseas and bringing that money back home to our communities, and a number of various issues at the state, local, and federal level. Some candidates won, some candidates lost. That's okay. Right now, I work for the Heartland Workers Center. We're a nonprofit that, works to go out and educate about civic engagement. One of the issues we're working on right now is paid sick leave and getting that passed through a ballot initiative at the state level. Through education and research, I found out that over 250,000 Nebraskans do not have paid sick leave at their workplaces. Most of those are Black people, especially folks that work in the service industry and stuff like that. Right now, the state legislature is trying to take away money for our public schools as a proud product of public schools. And while they're not perfect, we still need to accurately and equitably fund our public schools to make sure children get educated, not give that money to private schools who can discriminate mostly against Black people and kick our kids out of schools, right? And also right now we're working to enshrine reproductive freedom into the state constitution because the state senators are trying to take away the right to abortion. So again, one of those issues that sticks with me is just the freedom for self-determination, the freedom to have control of your own body and self-expression. So that's kind of what inspired me to get involved at such a young age.
That's what's up. Yeah, Miss Jenkins said each of your stories could be movie snippets, pictures of success through struggle and embodiment of how we thrive. Yep. So next person, brother Avion. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so for me, growing up in the west side of Chicago, I grew up with my pops locked up in the penitentiary, single mother, dysfunctional family, a lot of our black stories. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, what I wanted to be, or what I wanted to get into because I spent a lot of my childhood just not being into things. I was more out of the way. I wasn't, running to the corner store to hang around all the street dudes and all that. I was
Yeah.
really out the way. I was chilling. I saw things from a different perspective at a very early age. And people knew that. They just felt that I was different from everybody else in that environment. Not to put anybody down and not to put myself on the pedestal, but I thought different. I carried myself different. And that kind of led me to being more isolated from the pack. So that was kind of hard. But I had myself. So I had my mom, she supported me. I had myself, and I pretty much just coached myself through a lot of just my thoughts, my depressions, my insecurities and things I was going through at that age because I didn't have an uncle that I could look up to, an older brother I could look up to. My pops was in jail for selling drugs. And it just was I had nobody who was on the type of timing that I was on that could put me on a certain level or give me a certain kind of something I could get into. So that kind of led me into feeling just isolated and just alone. And like my back was against the wall and it was me against the world. And I was a kid thinking that. So I used to always just like talk to God. And I would always say, like, I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know I'm going to have my time in the sun. I know I'm going to have my time in the sunshine one day. So fast forwarding to when I was here in Vegas. So I'm 19 working at Old Navy. So my mom's, she ended up finding me this flyer. She went to this one resource place called Nevada Partners, which is where I work at now. So she had got this flyer from one of the youth workers there, and it had said Prince the King. So my mom had gave it to me because she said she thought it would be a good thing for me developing my manhood and all that good stuff to something positive. So we pulled up after one of my shifts at Old Navy, and because I've been bugging her about it because I was excited for it. So we pulled.
Oh, you froze.
People there was like, "Nah, this is wow." So I was like, "What is wow?"
You broke up a little bit, brother.
Oh, my bad. So the program was called WOW. So I was like, what is WOW? They was like, stick around to find out. So I stuck around, found out, and I just listened to everything people were saying. The youth, they just seemed very just engaged in their community. And I was liking what I was hearing. They was welcoming me in, even though I was more standoffish and observant at that time, because I look before I leap. But anyway, so I ended up coming for a few weeks because it was a Wednesday at 8 p.m. No, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Wednesday. So I went for two weeks, went a third week, and then I just became a full-fledged member. So I did a lot of volunteer events and they liked my initiative. So I eventually moved up to vice president of that youth group within a few months. So then once I got that vice president role, some of the people that was actually working in the actual organization, because the youth group was under the organization Nevada Partners, they ended up giving me an internship there. So I say all this to say that after that, I ended up getting a more like fulfilling role with the community, getting more involved in community engagement, civic engagement, youth and community advocacy. And I started to realize what it is I wanted to do, which is to impact people, speak life into people, and help them to help themselves. And I wouldn't be able to really realize that purpose if I didn't have the opportunity. So segueing back into the first question of what would be like one of the main struggles that our generation is dealing with, I would say opportunity, because you can have all of this talent and you can have all of this drive, like one brother said, with the direction, but without that opportunity or somebody to open that door or to lead you into this way, you won't really have the platform to really, really express all of your gifts the way you need to express them and impact the people that you need to impact and touch the people you need to touch. So it was definitely that opportunity that I got that actually grew me into my purpose and allowed me to understand what my purpose was.
That's beautiful, man. Oh man, I mean, just hearing y'all talk, man, is just giving me goosebumps because I ain't gonna front. Like, I deal with a lot of people and I just be wondering why sometimes it seems like it's just so hard for people to understand that they can be an individual and move forward. But then hearing y'all saying like the obstacles and stuff and the things that was kind of holding you back or even getting caught up in the system initially. Like, it took for me before I was 25 before I realized I wasn't just some nigga that's supposed to be jumping off the porch selling dope and being in the streets and trying to come down on niggas every summer. It took a while before I got to that. And for y'all to already be at that point, man, it's such a beautiful thing. And I appreciate y'all for taking y'all time to let us know and get into y'all mind a little bit. So I'm gonna let Shamyla go ahead with the next question. Go ahead.
Just briefly, what's something about you or like a fun fact that people wouldn't know?
So for me,
yeah.
I actually play the clarinet, so I'm classically trained in the clarinet. I've been playing since I was in 3rd grade, and my middle school actually gifted me a clarinet when I graduated to go to high school because I was the only student from that high school that got accepted to the performing arts school in my community.
Oh, wow.
A lawyer that plays the clarinet. Probably after you win, just hit him with the clarinet. That's beautiful, man. Brother Jet.
One thing that people would know about me, I'm an extensive gamer. A lot of people think I do work like 24/7, like I'm working all the time. I'm like, no, sometimes, some days I'm working all the time, but good bit of some of my days I'm playing the game, having fun with my guys. We're playing NCAA or we're playing 2K or Madden, like whatever. We're just playing the game. So the one thing that people wouldn't know about me based off my social media is that I love video gaming.
Yes, sir.
Jaden?
Let's see. I think one thing, well, some people don't know, but most people don't know. I ride the bike a lot. In Omaha, we have these like electric bikes that you can rent. So I get on those, and you may or may not catch me riding around, in your neighborhood or not, a couple of times a week. I can also, I guess I can sing. I've been told. I did spend a lot of time. I did spend a lot of time in choir class, so we went to the performing arts high school. So I guess can utilize those skills for other organizing strategies. But yeah, that's kind of some things most folks don't know.
J-Man, what do you think?
That's difficult. I'm an open book, so I'm trying to think. I already told you I'm a gamer. I already told you I love sports. One thing that people probably wouldn't know is that I love food. I love trying new food and new places that I've never gone before. So, I would say I love food no matter what it is.
Yeah, clearly I love food, but I've been trying to lose weight, but then it seemed like when I lose it, it's like you hit tag and find me again. I'm like, oh man, I can't shake it. Oh man, but yeah, that's good. So the people that's play, you say you play the game, do y'all stream on Twitch to get money off that or what?
No, I don't stream. I just play the game to have fun and relax, kind of thing.
Okay, what about you, Jay?
Nah. I during COVID, I was thinking about it. Like, I was thinking about going full-fledged streamer and gamer, but like I realized they require a lot more work and time that I don't have at the moment. Like Jeremiah said, I only got time to play it. If I had the funds and time to either edit videos myself or like pay an editor, I would. But I just do it for like a leisurely getaway, or better yet, like a reminiscence of childhood.
Yeah. Arlette said, this is so amazing. Young people gifted and focused. Miss Cassandra Anthony says she love it. Wanda said a strategist. That's what the game gives you, strategies. And Miss Bradford talking about Jaden. She said, "I'm gonna be looking for you riding that bike when I'm on the bus." All right, Sando.
So one thing that people wouldn't know about me is in my relaxation time, kind of like meditation, I like to do abstract art. So it's like I'm gonna do like a little show and tell. But it's like, the average meditation is like,
Wow.
30 minutes to an hour. So I just grab a piece of paper and just go with whatever is in my head at the time. Yeah, and just start. So this is one that I did. This is called Tempest. It has a lot of red in there. As you can see, it's my favorite color, passion. I put a lot of it in anything that I do. And then this one's just, I don't know. This one's called Distortion. Just everything everywhere all at once, but all leading to a converging point. So I don't know. I just I get when I need to clear my head, I just get artistic. So
Okay,
some people
that's good to know. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Next person.
Avrion. Oh, I think you're on mute.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So, is the question like something that y'all would know about me?
We wouldn't know about you just from looking at your social media. What some people wouldn't know about you.
Oh, okay, cool. So I don't take it too serious, but I do rap.
Okay.
So my rap name is Astu Ave, ASTUTE _ AVE. And another thing that people wouldn't know about me from just my regular socials is I also have a podcast called Realness Meets Logic.
Okay.
And
drop that link so we can put it in the chat.
Oh, the Realness Meets Logic is on Spotify.
Okay.
I ain't feel like doing all that. It's just on Spotify right now. And I also I need to get back into doing it more, but I also journal. I love journaling.
Oh man, that's beautiful. Yes, sir. Brother Louis.
Yo. When I was looking at this question, I really had to sit there and think because I'm like a real open book. And by me being a music artist, and a community activist, I feel accountable to my audience, and to the people that's following me. So I share a lot. I'm sharing a lot.
Yeah.
But I would say a hidden talent that I had, most people would not know from being able to look at my social medias, is that I'm like a chef. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like a little chef.
Boy, cooking up in the kitchen.
I be cooking up. I be chefing. I fell in love with cooking. I remember a long time ago when my mother told me to come to the kitchen and watch her cook. Right, I had to be like maybe 10 or 11, but I did not want to leave my video game. I was not trying to do that. And then I told her, like, women are supposed to cook. I'm gonna have a woman cook for me. I'm gonna have you cook for me, right? So like, fast forward later, like 15 years later, I got my first apartment. And then I'm like, oh, this is what moms told me about. Like, now I'm really out here living on my own. I really need to know how to cook. So, I called my mom up and got her there, and we was chefing. And I just learned, from then I became very creative, with my dishes that I make. One of my favorite dishes to make is this vegan pasta that I do, like a tomato basil base. But yeah, I'm a little chef, and I owe it all to my moms and all the women in our family because they be chefing it up.
Okay. In the kitchen cooking chicken. They're like it's Popeyes, that what they say? Yeah, okay, Brother John. Next question is for you.
For who?
Brother John at the top, the lawyer.
Who has been your biggest supporter on this journey so far?
I think there's a mixture of people. So obviously my family, they have been a very big support, whether it's been spiritually, financially. I mean, I remember studying for the bar and I was on the phone with family members every day, just crying because studying for the bar is very hard, it's very taxing. You have to cram a bunch of stuff in your head and then remember it. And I do have a disability as a result of me being going through cancer. So it was just a very difficult time. But also strangers. You'd be surprised the people that you meet along the way, or you don't know who's watching that supports you. I believe, especially now in the season that I'm in, where I'm kind of transitioning, and I'm job hunting for a firm, but also doing like my own thing right now. You don't know how many people you don't know are speaking your name into rooms that you've never been into, and
Man,
so remembering that you never know who's watching and who's going to support you, and your support may come from the people that you least expect it to be.
yes, sir. Brother Jack.
Yes. So the biggest supporter for me, firstly, I give all credits to God. Without God, I don't believe I would be in the position that I am in today.
G-O-D.
Aside from God, I would say it's a mixture. So like for my mom, my family, um, mentors, people who are in the community, and then surprisingly, the student section at my school. They give me a lot of love. So whenever I walk around my school, they're like, "Yo, I tuned into your podcast. Yo, when's the next time you gonna speak at an event? Yo, how can I get on the show?" Like different stuff like that from the student body of my school. Those are some of the biggest supporters in my life. Like I love the student support. They keep me going. And it's like I know I'm making a difference for the students. I know I'm being a leader for the students. And I know I'm like being like kind of a light for like their journey, and like they can do something great because I was able to do it as well.
That's beautiful. Yes, sir.
Jaden,
Can you repeat the question?
who has been the biggest supporter on this journey so far?
I think for me, first and foremost, my family, spiritual and blood family, friends and community that I have gotten, gotten the blessing to work with along the way over the last decade or so, and really just any person that I've come into contact with that has, said words of encouragement or has seen me on the news and been like, I love what you said, or that inspired me to do this. So, anyone who, has just sent positive affirmations and yeah, just family and community, I guess.
Okay.
Jay? Are we muted?
No, I think he muted. J Man. There you go.
My bad, y'all. My bad. I just heard. I was locked in. I'm trying to tap in. Who else and who's speaking next? Biggest supporter thus far. I'll give it to the man above first and foremost. Secondly, I was definitely shout out my mom. And then last but not least, I would say my mentor, Tommy McClam, call him PT back at home. Like I said, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I'm an open book. I didn't, and I don't have my father in my life now. And when I met Tommy, he was just that father figure, that grandfather figure role that I didn't know I needed, but like gravitated towards him and appreciated every moment that I had to get with him, not only as my director, but then, that personal lifestyle mentor, to where it's like, it's only been 4 years, to the date, but the amount of growth that I've seen myself, but then not only, just learning from him has been tremendous. And I feel like I've been knowing him my whole life, as if he's family, but I do love him definitely like a father figure. He knows this, but I definitely would like to get those three entities entities, the shout outs and flowers to being my supporters throughout this journey so far. And I know that they'll continue to support me as, I continue down this journey.
Good.
Sando?
I would say my biggest supporters have been a group of mentors along my journey, people who have gravitated towards my mission, my goals, and things like that, and chose to help me. And as the brother mentioned earlier, it's usually like strangers, people you don't even expect, who like you based on what they hear about your name, based on like conversation that are said about you, that just show up at the woodwork just to show you support. And I'm kind of like a little bit shy about it sometimes, but I have a lot of people approach me with support and things like that, and I don't like know how to receive it all the time. But yeah, I do have a lot of support that comes from very random places, but God has definitely carried me through.
Man, it's crazy. I'm 48 and I still have a problem with receiving like support or receiving people saying good job. I got an award yesterday. Was it yesterday? Friday from the NAACP, a Freedom Fighter Award. And sometimes when people sometimes offer to give me awards, I'll be like, it's still so much work to do. I don't want to stop and relish in the moment. I gotta keep on going. But then my wife, like, you know what? You gotta sometimes sit back and just smell the flowers, take the appreciation, and move forward. So yeah, Sando, man, I'm saying with you on that. It is difficult, but definitely accept whatever people is giving you. And like I said, y'all definitely inspired me just from the moment I met you. I think you was in a breakout session when I met you. So yeah, I'm sitting here looking at you like, man, this is one of them dudes, man. So we gotta make sure we continuously highlight y'all. And this ain't even gonna be the only time. And just so y'all know, anytime y'all need to get a hold of me, y'all can. Anytime y'all need to have a talk, anything, or you want to come on the show, share something new that you're doing, let me know, brother. And I got you for real. Yep, brother Avery. I did just put your link up right here. So just so y'all know, that's his Spotify link. And the same question to you: what has inspired you? I mean, no, not inspired. What's your biggest supporter on your journey so far?
All right. First, thanks for helping to support the podcast. Second, I'd say outside of God and myself, my Dukes for sure. Like my mom's and my immediate family. But touching on my mom's, like my mom, she's like my confidant. She holds me down. We have an open line of communication. She keeps things real. She's very transparent, which is very important for a parent to child relationship with certain conversations. So she really just is like my rock. She hold me down. And then my supervisor, my old supervisor, Ella Garcia, she used to work in Nevada Partners. She extended the opportunity for me to work at Nevada Partners after leaving my job at Old Navy during that time. And then my current supervisor, Maria Moore, she is serving as like a mentor to me because I am in a development stage right now. Like I'm doing my thing and I'm having this impact, but I am in the beginning stages of it. And I make some mistakes and there are some things that I do need mentorship and guidance on. And she's definitely that and helps to guide me along that way. So yeah, those are the people that definitely should be highlighted when it comes to my journey and where it is right now.
Okay.
Louis?
Yay. First and foremost, God. Everybody already said it. That's the very first person or thing that comes to mind when I think about my biggest supporter. Just like me still being alive and still existing, is a testimony, to success. I'm just grateful for each and every day that I could wake up and just exist and still be here. I've lost so many people, like some of my closest people in my circle, from my family. They're transitioned now, right? So I think about my ancestors every day. I think about my mom, my pops, right? My goddads that I've had. Just being able to live out my God-given purpose is what I'm here to do, and I'm very blessed that I can do what I do, do what I'm good at, do what I love, and create an impact in my community. The support has been extensive. So many organizations here in Minnesota, so many thought leaders, freedom fighters, especially the movement, right? That freedom fighter movement, where I really found my home. All the revolutionaries, the support is extensive, but I know that it starts with God. So yeah, my answer would just be God, simply like that.
Yes, sir. And all of y'all said your moms too. And what's crazy is the woman that allowed you to grow in her body for 9 months and then deliver you to this earth, still to this day is supporting you. It's a beautiful thing. So for the ladies out there, understand. I know sometimes it might seem like your kid ain't listening. They don't. They might be a little hard headed at first, but trust me, it's the mothers, and y'all got this way about making everything feel good, making you feel like you could do anything. And I've been an active father, so for my kids, a lot of them say that it's me and their mom. But for right now, what we talking about and what we've seen a lot of is the mothers, man. And it was the same for me. My mother, she seen stuff in me before I even seen it in myself. And so, man, it's just one of them things that I could call her no matter what, and she would make it all feel good. So mamas, keep being mamas, please. The brothers is telling you right now that is what inspired them and their biggest support system. We'll go to the next question, Shamyla.
How do you stay clear of the systematic conditioning that affects so many of your peers?
Ooh. Starting back with you at the top, bro.
I would say keeping the faith. A lot of times we pray, but we don't put in the work as well. And so we always forget about the faith without works part. The works part we need to also put in. And
Man.
so being intentional about what you pray for and how you pray, but also doing the work to make sure that your prayers are coming to fruition. So that's being obedient to whatever God is calling you to do, being obedient to the people that are around you that are having your best interests at heart, and also having discernment, because not everybody is for you. Some people are around
Ooh, you better say it.
for a reason and for a lifetime. And so knowing which person, who goes into which bucket, and knowing how to keep them there. And I'm a Leo, so I'm good with cutting people off. You think I done fell off the earth or died somewhere if you cross me, or if if you're not connected like that. So
yeah, Miss Wanda said some of the youth inspire their parents, present and absent. That's true. That's very true. But yeah, man, you're right. You just never know, man. So yeah, I like how you said put them in a bucket, because it's the way you categorize them in your mind, whether they're for you or not. It's either you work with them, you go around them, or you just remove them. Period. So yeah, that's good.
Because you'll frustrate yourself trying to make someone that's supposed to be there for a season or for a minute, try to put them in that lifetime bucket, and then you over there conflict and unruliness is not worth it.
Yeah, Cassandra said that brother very educated. He's so very educated. That's that brother right there. All right, next person, brother Jack.
Firstly, I know my mom would kill me. I think that's like a big answer. My mom would like knock my head completely off if I did. I remember I got expelled from school in the 5th, and she took me to her job, the neighborhood. It was like everywhere I went, I was getting beat. So I was like, I can't do that. I know firstly my mom would kill me.
That kept you from going into the hood, like, yeah.
Kept me from going off path. Secondly, though, I would say it's a part of the Bible that says iron sharpens iron. So I try to keep my circle as clean as possible. I try to keep what I watch, what I listen to, things I do, all on track and all in a positive manner. So that way I am constantly being influenced by positive things. Because also in the Bible it says, so a man thinketh, he becomes. So I just want to make sure everything I'm taking in my body, through my ears, through my eyes, through what I eat, through the people I talk to through the people I hang around, all of that is just positive energy feeding into me. So that way I have no chance of even being influenced on going down a negative path.
Boy, you done been here before. You 17 talking like that already. You act like you done been here before. You look reincarnated dude, man. Come on, man. Brother Jaden. So yep. You remember the question, or you need her to repeat it?
Can you repeat the question again?
How do you stay clear of the systematic conditioning that affects so many of your peers?
Absolutely. I think a big thing for me is staying accountable. Staying accountable to the community in which I serve, staying accountable to keeping my body in good health, staying accountable to to my family, staying accountable in my education, the things I'm consuming, the things I'm reading, and you know, the different news and perspectives that are out there, right? And continuing to show up when I can, for the community and being accountable in that way. Also making sure I'm continuing to uplift other like-minded Black men and women. Most of the time, if I'm uplifting somebody in another space where they're not there, it's a Black woman or it's a Black queer man. So just being intentional about how I'm making an impact and just being accountable to that.
That's what's up. All right, brother Jay. What
Yes,
kept you
sir.
from jumping off the tours, getting out here with them packs, bro?
Yes, sir. I think it was just a matter of having that close, tight knit circle, and surrounding myself around those that in which that I want to become or that I know have that same like mindset as me. A good brother throughout the town, found he was my cousin. I think like a few months back, he always says his name is Sherman, by the way, as well. That's why it's funny, you know, it's Sherman, but he always says, what is it? If you have 9 broke friends, you're gonna be the 10th one. So it's just always, you know, like who you surround yourself around and things of that nature. So I think it's just a matter of continuing to surround myself by the like-mindedness and understanding that. And I think Sherman, you even brought it up, like us being so young, if you will, and having an understanding of a path that we want to go down and having that set in stone and not allowing too many external distractions or external factors really just play a role in that. I think helps us stay away from these systematic conditioning that can affect us in a negative light. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of just having that discernment, and being aware of who I allow in my circle and protecting my energy.
Yeah. Brother Jeremiah, they agreeing with me. They said you've been here before. See, that's what Kelly and Cassandra both said, that same thing. You reincarnated, bros. You cheating, kind of. You know what I mean? 17 already on this. So next person, Brother Sando.
I would just say remaining uncompromising on my vision. I do not compromise my vision, but I am very flexible in the approach. So I do compartmentalize. I use the tactic of isolation as well, because they can't get to me. I'm just too much focused on what I got to do. Like I'm not gonna be bothered by external forces. That's just how I look at it. But yeah. So, but I do, like I said, just staying very uncompromising on the vision. And what I have set for, what God has endowed within me to bring forth on this planet. I do not compromise on that. But also with the approach, I need to be flexible, because that's where I can find duality and partnerships with people who are in alignment with what I have as well. But that's also, everybody's been saying that word discernment. And that's a God-given gift. Some people have it and some people don't, but for the people that have it, God just helps them use it well. So I'll just say that.
All right.
Avery?
For me, I would say learning thyself, knowing thyself, and then honoring thyself. Because me personally, with my upbringing, outside of family, I've always been more of a solo stepper, a one-man band, if you will. Like, I have people I'm cool with or whatever, but as far as like circles of like-minded people, I'm just now starting to attract those type of people and align myself with those groups of minds. But like, well, however, I would say it's just really tapping into yourself, finding out who are you, what do you like, because the system is pretty much trying to make everybody a copy of each other to have an easy grip of control over our minds. Because it can't control everybody if everybody's thinking for themselves, which is why the hive mind thinking is such a big thing. Like social media, all these different things are like when I was speaking about the shared collective expectations, like those are things that that a lot of people are adopting and are putting into their mind into like what they feel that they want. But it's a lot of things that we've been conditioned to think that we want that we really don't want. But a lot of us don't really know ourselves or really know what we really want out of life or what we really want for ourselves. So I would say just like learning thyself, taking the time out to just have fun with it. Like take yourself out to the movies, date yourself, just have that time to yourself. And once you learn yourself and once you know yourself and have that confidence, honor yourself, stand on your principles and your morals and your values. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say with that.
Okay. Louis? You muted still, bro. You gotta unmute yourself, Louis. We can't do it. There we go. There you go. All right, go ahead. Oh, then he jumped him out. I'm sure he's about to be right back. So we'll give him a brief second. But it's crazy that y'all all pretty much are remaining individuals, and that's really what I like about it. Staying an individual and being who you are is going to get you further than being a follower, and it makes you unpredictable. When you become a follower and you created by a system, that system can predict you and set the traps for you. And they'll let you sit and do the things you're doing, and then when they're ready to snatch you up, they got all this stuff already built up on you. So Brother Louis is back. Go ahead and let us know what helped you stay clear of the systematic conditioning that's affecting so many of your peers.
Yeah, it's a great question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just love a lot of the answers that the brothers already shared. First and foremost, accountability. I think that's a big piece, right? The ones that I'm accountable to, making sure that I'm leading by example and I'm able to be here to take care of my family, take care of my community, and know that I'm building something for the next generation. I get so inspired, when I'm working with children and I'm just kicking it with the babies. Like I'm that older cousin where I would leave the adults to just go kick it with the babies and kick it with the kids, just to listen to their conversation. Because they be so full of life and very entertaining too. Very entertaining. I should probably start a little segment on a TV show about that. Like just record children and just watch them play and have fun. But yeah, I would also say being very intentional about what I consume, right? I eat very healthy, right? I make sure that I'm choosing my media with intentionality, right? My sources, where I'm going to for the truth, what I'm learning, what I'm studying, right? Being a lifelong student is very important, and just sharpening my sword, staying disciplined to always want to get better. Like I'm always busy. I am addicted to productivity. I can't just sit around and let a day go to waste. And I think my experiences with just losing so many people, just knowing that like we only get one life, that's really what drives me. So it helps me stay away from all of the nonsense and all the BS. Because when you look at yourself in a different light, with great power comes great responsibility. So I really reflect on, the things that I'm responsible for. And, in my circle, like if I'm not doing it, then it's going to be a ripple effect to so many people around me. So I got no choice but to be great.
Yes, sir. And Ms. Jenkins said, I really wish I could see this in mainstream news. Will there be follow-up community check-ins? I love to hear updates on your brother's story. And so, yeah, what we're going to do before we get out of here for sure is make sure y'all drop y'all social media handles so everybody that's tuning in can follow y'all. And then we'll definitely update. Anytime y'all got something you need to let us know, just let me know and I'll have y'all on the show for sure. I want to make sure that we stay connected, keep you connected to the people on the live. And like I said, it's steady a stream of about 20 people. But I know when I get off of here, there's some ghost listeners, like my brothers on First Sky be saying they're just watching with the volume up, but they're not clicking in the video, so they ain't count it. But it's all good. We know people want to see. They watching y'all. They following us. And they want to see what's going on. So for sure, we're going to make sure we do that. And Ms. Wanda said it's so easy to be lured by people of power who want to use others for their own benefit. So stay true to oneself and believe. Thank you, Miss Wanda, for those words of knowledge. Because you're right, it is easy to be lured, and we just got to make sure that we realize that we are the creators. We was never meant to be born to be controlled and to be told what to do. We was here to come and create and leave the world a better place than what it was when we got here. We live, we die, but in between, it's the legacy that you grow and create. So when you die, people can talk about this is what he did and inspire that next generation to be something better than what they were. So we're gonna go to that next question. Go ahead, Shamyla.
What's the best way people can support you in your mission?
Voting. Excuse me.
What'd you
I
say?
said to vote.
Vote. Yeah.
Yes, because, and not just in the presidential elections, but also in state, local, city, whatever, county voting. Because especially when it comes to my profession, a lot of people, they only think about, the Supreme Court and the presidential election. They don't think about, the judges that are influencing the laws in your cities and your towns, the
Man.
attorney generals that are influencing the laws and things in your towns, your county and state legislature who are influencing your circumstances. And so those are what is really important. It helps me in my job because if the laws are consistent and they're favorable to the people and not just to those who are in positions of power, it allows me to better protect and serve the community that I live and work in each and every day. So just voting, no matter what your views are, what you believe in, or what have you, making sure that you vote and let your voice be heard, especially as Black and brown individuals, because people died and were whipped and slaughtered for us to have the opportunity to vote. And so you need to use that. I know a lot of people don't like that talking point, but it's the truth, and a lot of people don't like the truth. But that's what you need to hear.
Yes, sir.
Jeremiah?
I would say don't let the conversation end here. This is a panel of amazing brothers who are all doing different things, who are all doing amazing things across the country. I'm pretty sure from this podcast you have learned a lot. I have learned a lot.
Man, I've learned a lot.
You've learned a lot from this conversation. So don't let this end here. Go out in your community, influence another young person. Go get a young person who you think is not on the right track and try to become that mentor. Try to become that point of reference to where you can help them get on the right track instead of just judging them and making assumptions about them. So my answer would be on how the best way to support me. Don't let this conversation end here. Make more of us. Make more of the people who are on the panel. Make more of the people who are on the panel who are doing amazing things. Go get those people who need help, who are lost, who have no direction, and give them direction. Help them find their direction, and then just train them and raise them and guide them up to be people who can be people who will provide value to our society.
Right. Yeah, Miss Jenkins says she definitely want to stay connected. Anything that she could mirror in Lincoln or Omaha with methods that they know work would be a great show of solidarity across the country. And then she said, vote down the ballot, vote every time. People die for your right to vote. And if it didn't matter, they wouldn't try so hard to steal your right to vote. And Miss Cassandra says she really enjoyed y'all. Arlette says, speak it. Miss Wanda, you all can change the narrative. You don't have to fall in line. We're banking on you. Miss Ross says she learned a lot tonight. And Miss Jenkins also said, yes, forward pushing towards a more equitable future. I hope y'all feel how inspiring that you are. Each one teach one, Miss Wanda said. She said, I learned a lot. Man, they chiming in for real. Brother Jaden, what's the best way that people can support you in your mission?
I think I would echo, yes, please vote, not in the presidential, all the way down the ballot. If you're in a ballot initiative state, look up your state and local issues. That's where you can impact and direct the future of policy in your state and local races, whether it's the mayor's office, the county attorney, state legislature, what have you. Also, get connected with like-minded individuals. If you're working on a certain issue, there's a lot of just grassroots energy here in Omaha and other cities across the nation on a number of issues, whether it's related to safe and affordable housing, increasing the minimum wage, granting access for more health care for low income individuals, so many things, right? So it goes beyond the ballot box. So I would say it's like a both and when it comes to voting. Support your local mutual aid networks and stuff like that, and take care of each other, right? I think everyone's going through it in many ways, and so reach out, continue to have conversation. And I would echo what has been said here. I hope the conversation does not end here and does continue.
Right.
Jay?
Yes. What would I like people to do? I would like them to continue. Yes, just continue to engage in conversations as such. But then also do your homework. I would say do your due diligence in terms of being able to become like-minded in this space, to be able to continue to carry on a different perspective of the conversation. Because not, we're only what 8-9 people on this call on this platform. Continue to have that conversation, spread it, share the word, share the podcast, continue to have these conversations in bold and brave spaces. And yes, and just get involved civically. I think that voting piece is definitely key. I think Jean had taught me a valuable lesson the other day that I did not know, that the voting rights were renewed, if you will, every 20 to 30 years. And that was something that I found out. And I always thought it was interesting that, it would be so prevalent to vote. Understanding the history of, people, our ancestors died before us, but, that's key due to the fact that it's like a muscle. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. And that's the biggest way that you can utilize your voice. If you're not real tech savvy with the podcast, with the laptops and all that, that's still a way in which you can get your voice out there and exercise how you feel and believe this country should be led and things of that nature. So I just think it's a matter of just doing your homework and becoming educated and not allowing everything to become a distraction and allow it to lead you, and you become a bit more intentional and you lead with some action. So.
Sando?
I would say sponsorship, similar to what Mr. Wells has done for each one of the young men on this call, taking our names and our missions into rooms that we are not even aware of, but there are people who are not aware of us. So yeah, definitely, if you're listening to this conversation and these messages are resonating with you, if you feel like there's anybody in any district, any area, any hamlet of your area that needs to hear these types of messages, yes, be a sponsor for us. Take our names out there, take our messages out there, take what we're trying to inspire young men to do out there. That's how you can support it.
Yeah. Stacy Jean said, thank you all. This evening has been inspiring. And Miss Jenkins said, be prepared tonight, like everyone you organize with, but make sure you're all on the same page for the end goal. So yeah, I think that's good too. Brother Avery.
So I definitely love all the answers from the brothers that had just answered this question. So I'm pretty much going to reiterate. So definitely vote. It's very important for your voice to be heard. And the youth definitely need to be guided and poured into and mentored, because like I forgot which one of the brothers said it, but there's a lot of trapped talent in these places that are low on opportunity. And that's like the best thing for me. It's just for my mission, just giving back and putting the youth in position, because the youth are the future. If you want to shape the world in whatever way you want to shape it in, the youth are the people that's going to be targeted, because they're the ones who's going to grow up and then be operating the spaces that needs to be that's going to have things moving in the way that people want it to move in. So I would say that. And then also with the whole saying, don't outshine the master, I would say for those who are in these high positions that have youth under them, like young adults or teenagers, like this amazing brother Jeremiah, who has all this talent and all these gifts and all this wonder, that they can impact the world with, to just be able to pass the torch.
Man.
That's it. Like, to be able to pass that torch when it is time for that torch to be passed.
Yes, sir.
And that's all I have to say on that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Louis.
Thank you, brother Sherman. I dropped my link right there. That's my link tree. I also got a website, louisblaze.com. That's LEWIEEBLAZE.com. You can support me by simply, going to, buy my book, get some of my albums that I release, watching some of the music videos I've been able to do, and then spreading the word, sharing the work that we doing, what we will breathe, and just being a part of the network. I love building real relationships. You feel me? So like I'm gonna follow up with everybody on this panel right here, lock in. I love traveling. So, the more that we can move together, like a brother said earlier, a lot of people are always working in their own silos, right? But this is just so much brilliant. And with this conversation, with just the like 8, 9 of us that's here, imagine what we can do. We all came together and did a project and pushed something
Man.
nationally, right? From all of our cities. So I'm always thinking about like how can we build as a collective? How can we continue to push our agenda? But yeah, those some ways you can support me tangibly. Go buy my book. I'm a hustler. I'm always selling something, So you go to my website and get in tune.
All right. And Miss Jenkins said, I will be speaking about this and spreading your good work. This has been such an inspiring evening. And then she said, thank you to me for bringing these gentlemen to our attention. Can't know to look for what you don't know is out there. And that's why I did it, because I've been on floating on cloud nine since I met y'all. And ask my daughter, I just talk about y'all so much and I follow y'all pages. I've been going back trying to catch up to see what y'all been doing and how you got to this place. Is just amazing to me to see young brothers, man, because I know what y'all up against. And I work with a lot of young people that be feeling so hopeless. So I'm like, how did these dudes get their mind together at such a young age, man? It was amazing to me. So, man, I appreciate y'all and I love y'all like y'all my brothers, man, for real. And that's why I definitely wanted to make sure I highlighted y'all and put this together. And I just wanted to make sure that other people see and got a chance to experience y'all greatness. So that's really what it was. And Ms. Jenkins said, knowing y'all are out there makes my brain fill with events to bring more people into awareness of this excellence. That's true. Yep. Absolutely. Good job from Jobina. Yeah, another one of them women that's on the front line. This girl will show up broke foot. I think she had like a broke foot or something. And we went into the belly of the beast. We went to a police training facility during their event where they was presenting themselves as heroes and came in there with signs of people who they done killed in our community. They didn't like it, but they couldn't do nothing. And she was there with us. So shouts out to you, Jobina. I'm gonna let Shamyla get y'all in on this last question. And then we're gonna wrap it up. Go ahead, Shamyla.
Any final words of wisdom you like to share?
Woo, words of wisdom. I gotta hear this one now.
For me, it would be making sure that as you climb the ladder, you're bringing someone at least someone with you. I think a lot of times we as a community have this scarcity mindset that there's not enough room at the table for all of us, or there's not enough resources for all of us, but there is enough for us. It's about knowing and using your network and your resources and bringing someone with you. I don't believe in waiting until I get to the top to then want to open the door. I should be kicking down the doors and holding the door open behind me for the next person to come in. Whether that's helping people study for the bar, whether it's helping them tutor them for school. Can't do none of this elementary, high school stuff. They done changed a lot of stuff. Common Core and all that other stuff is different than when I grew up. But when you get into college and stuff, I can help you. Connecting you with different people, I think that's very important to utilize your resources and help others as you climb up.
Okay. Yeah. Miss Wanda said trouble word. All hands on deck. You're getting hearts all around. I see the hearts flying on Facebook. They just hearting y'all up. Next brother, Jeremiah. What's your final words of wisdom you like to share?
Yeah, so I actually created a quote, do a little less wrong every single day. When you're in a place where you feel like you always doing wrong or you can't get nothing right, it feels almost impossible to get back on top or even do something positive. So my thing is just making sure that every single day you're doing a little bit less, a little bit less wrong. So like let's say when I go to schools, I tell kids, you got in 10 fights last week, maybe next week you get in 9 fights. It's not a massive change, but it's a little change where you got from 10 to 9. So this goes for adults. This goes for anybody. If you got problems, I know we all got problems. Well, whatever you're dealing with, just making sure you chipping away at it little by little, and eventually you'll get to the place where you want to get to. And that little bit of effort will eventually amount up to the success and the dreams that you are chasing and fighting for.
Man, yeah, your new name is Jeremiah Reincarnated Jet. You have been here before, bro. Man, brother Jaden, any final words of wisdom you like to share?
I would say, and this is something I express to a lot of organizers, a lot of young folks, like-minded young folks that I work with and spend time with, is that we are exactly where we're supposed to be. If you have any doubt in your mind that where you're at in terms of like fighting for political change, or if you have any doubt in your ability to do that, don't. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, because we're existing in the context of which we are. So that would be my final words of wisdom for folks.
Man, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. All right, next brother, Jamian.
Yes, sir. Words of wisdom, just like Jeremiah, a quote that I created, is "You are great. Don't allow anything or anyone to tell you otherwise." Just a quote, just a positive affirmation. Understanding that we all are going through something, and just telling myself that every day is just another reminder that I am great, and this is just the obstacle and challenge that I face today, and not every day. It's gonna be like the same. I'm gonna have my ups, my downs. It's gonna be my trials and tribulations. But as long as I know that I'm gonna step with the best order, every opportunity and chance I get, I'm gonna make sure to do so, and then live my life like every day is my last. Live with intentionality and make sure I'm at the end of it all, when it's all said and done, I can raise my hands and say I did everything I could.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Miss Miller said, I'm never disappointed with the time I spend on these lives. I always love information's flowing like water and it fills my cup. Miss Jackson, she said, I love it. Listening to educated, articulate Black men is inspiring. Man, y'all putting it down today. All right, let's go to the next brother. Brother Sando, what's your final words of inspiration?
I would say fail fast and fail early. And that leaves room for the learning, and also take the time to reflect on the things that you learned, so that way you do not repeat those same things in the future moving forward. But also, yes, definitely do not be afraid of failure. It's not going to be the end of the world. There's more things to come after, so definitely.
Okay. All right. Avrion.
Man, real quick, Sando, I wanted you to know that I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that message.
Yeah.
Because I am a perfectionist at times, and I do put a lot of pressure on myself to make it to certain spaces, especially with me being a young 22-year-old Black man in America. I do have my foot on the gas, and I do put a lot of pressure on myself. So I definitely needed to hear that, brother. Thank you. And for my words of wisdom, I would say be intentional with your growth and be intentional with yourself. So when you're out here doing this work, it can be hard. It can be hard, but I want you to be intentional with how you take care of yourself and with how you're growing, because you're going to grow professionally and personally. You want to make sure that those things are balanced and that you're just taking care of yourself, because it's hard work. So just make sure that you are allowing yourself to be gentle with yourself while you are doing the hard work. And that's what I have.
Okay. Yes, sir. Brother Louis.
Yeah, yay. You know, while I was sitting here thinking of like, words of wisdom or coming up with a quote or something, I'm like, you know what? I'm a rapper, so let me just spit a verse. I said free. Freedom is really knowing yourself. Free. Freedom is taking care of your health. Free. Freedom is generational wealth, breaking generational curses and making it out of hell. Born in the hood, feel like we hypnotized. See me with my hoodie on and then I'm stigmatized. Swear I really be the truth, they living in a lie. You know it's fire in the youth, I see it in our eyes. Why? Land of the free, we just want to make money, but this land full of greed, they just want to take from me. America not a country, it's a corporation built upon corpses and creating all this enslavement. Horrible races control the nation, I'm losing patience. My people facing systematic oppression and economic devastation and mass incarceration and multi-generations of trauma passed from mamas and grandmamas to our fathers who was taken from out of our home, stripped of identity, got us looking like skeleton bones. Gotta learn how to own, we can no longer afford to rent. Feel as us versus the world, so in these verses I'm a vent. The police destroying tents, they terrorizing the homeless. A thin line between law and morale in these moments. These people bogus, I ain't feeling like a civilian, but I'm screaming hashtag save the children. Be free.
Yes, sir. Man, thank you, brother. Man, if that wasn't inspiring to y'all, I don't know what is. Aisha said, young men and women, I just want to get this in. Please vote if you can. I've been voting since I was 18 and now I'm 48. Arlette, she said, so inspiring. We need more. Miss Jenkins, we need more songs that have weight to the words. As a poet, that was beautiful. Stacey Jean giving you hand claps. Juanita Ross saying, I love it. Man, y'all brothers done turned it up today. So I appreciate y'all for coming through, dropping the gems, letting the world see y'all face. Brother Daryl on LinkedIn said, wow, man. So yeah, man. Now y'all all feeling what I've been feeling all these weeks after I met them and had to hold it in. Can't wait for the show. It was just contained energy. But now y'all get to see it. Linda even saying, yeah, she love it. They said, thank you for this. So they all chiming in. Y'all getting hearts on the board, man. It's just a beautiful thing. And again, I appreciate y'all brothers. Much love and respect. I will send y'all a link. That song that I played at the beginning is one of my own songs. I have an album. It's just 5 songs. It's all message music. And it's really, you know, like brother said, you got to be able to put the messages in the music so people who can receive the message in the music, they can still receive the messages. Brother Kelly White said, y'all are also awesome and inspirational. So proud of y'all, our next generation of greatness. Yes. And she said, this is good to see. Love it. So yeah, man, y'all done turned them up. I appreciate y'all. And I'm going to shoot y'all the numbers because like I said, after I get off, I always go right to the thing and see who was really watching. And I could almost guarantee y'all going to be in the 2s and 3s or 400s of people that was tuned in already because, you know, they just like to hide, but it's okay. It's all good. Miss Stacey Jean says she glad she tuned in. And then I just posted Jamion's LinkedIn page so that way y'all can follow him. And if y'all got any more links that y'all want to post so people can follow you, let me know. Brother Daryl Harris, he said, this is a mastermind alliance. Keep the message going. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned in on these sermons with Sherman. I'm going to be highlighting not only the brothers, but next time it'll be a bunch of young sisters that's doing their thing. And if you are listening now and you a young sister that's doing your thing, make sure you send me a message and let me know that you want to be on and we'll get you on. And for my brothers, I'm going to make sure we stay tapped in. Juanita says she glad she tuned in. Great energy to kick off my week. And there go brother Jeremiah Jet stuff from his mama. Come on through, mama. All right. Yep. All right. So we about to get out of here. It's 9:56. We stayed under our 2 hours. I'm going to give y'all another round of applause, man. Y'all brothers, man. Y'all did y'all thing today. I appreciate y'all. Much love. Peace and hair grease in the Middle East. And Miss Wanda said, walk humbly, take care of yourselves, and guard like gold because we need you. We do 100%. Love y'all, brothers. I'll be in touch. Peace.